Hello, my name is John and I'm the science educator for Children's Museum Houston, and welcome to our weekly Geek Out Lives where we do a deep dive on a really cool topic. And we are at our science station in the museum, and both the science station, our gallery, How Does It Work, and these weekly Geek Outs are all sponsored by our friends at Flint Hills Resources. So a big thank you to them for keeping this program going all the way since October. So a couple weeks ago, I did a Geek Out Live with a couple friends, Elizabeth and Faith, where they did their own scientific research to study cleanliness. One did a study on hand washing versus hand sanitizer, and another one compared the cleanliness of human mouths to dog mouths, testing the age-old myth of, are dogs' mouths really cleaner than humans? And so definitely go back and check that out. That's on our YouTube channel. But what I wanted to do is I kind of wanted to do an extension of our conversation from that day, do a couple different experiments, and one of which you can follow along at home. And on that Geek Out Live, what I showed you was I did an experiment where I touched bread. This one was untouched, didn't really have any mold. This one I had washed my hands, kind of got a lot of mold. This is like 10 weeks since I started this experiment. And this was with really dirty hands, where I actually had rubbed my hands on the ground, and this bread is disgusting. So what I wanted to test is using soap and doing a couple different hand washing experiments. And so what I'm gonna use in this first one is some glow germ gel. And so this will kind of rub in like lotion, but when you hold up a black light, it will actually reveal how many germs I can get off of my hands. So I'm gonna put a bunch on my hands here. And through this, we're gonna be kind of turning the lights off, turning the lights on. I'm gonna be moving back to the sink. There's gonna be a lot of movement. So I will be communicating a lot with the cameraman to make sure that we have everything in frame. So I'm gonna rub this in a little bit. It is way too much lotion, but this way we can see it very clearly. Okay. So I'm gonna get a napkin real quick to clean one hand so I can hold the black light, and then we're gonna flick the lights off. Okay, so now I have a lot of lotion on this hand here. So we're gonna turn the lights off and hold up our black light. So you can see this glow gel helps you see everything that's on my hands very clearly. And so we're gonna try now washing my hands, but we're gonna do two different steps where we're gonna change one main variable. Now we can flip the lights back on, and I'm going to wash my hands. And the main way you're supposed to wash your hands, you're supposed to have warm, soapy water and rub your hands for about 20 seconds. Now, the one variable we're gonna change here, we're gonna keep 20 seconds, but in this first step, we're not gonna use soap. So a key ingredient to nice clean hands, we're gonna leave out. And so then I'm gonna sit back down, we're gonna take the black light and we're gonna put it right back on my hands, and we'll see how well I washed without soap. Okay. Okay, now we'll flick the lights back off so we can see the black light. Okay, actually a pretty good job here. You can see there's still a lot on my fingers, and I actually missed. I definitely have water down at my wrist, but I didn't clean this off at the bottom. So this was with no soap. So we're gonna do this again. We're gonna keep the lights off. I'm gonna put more lotion back on. I'm gonna rub it back in. I'm gonna try to keep it at about the same amount. And then we'll test it. We'll test it again to prove that I still have a lot of lotion on my hands. Okay. All right, still have a lot of lotion. You can see it all in my creases there. So we're gonna flick the lights back on. I'm going to wash my hands again But the main thing I'm gonna change is I'm gonna add some soap. So let's add some soap to our process here. We're gonna do another cleaning of about 20 seconds. And hopefully this will show very clearly why it's so important to use soap. And so if you get a chance to jump back to our Geek Out a couple weeks ago, where I was talking to Elizabeth and Faith, in Elizabeth's project, she actually found that hand washing with soap was better than using hand sanitizer. And so in this next experiment that we're gonna do, you can actually follow along at home pretty easily, and it will prove why soap is so good at cleaning. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's see how we did. Okay, so our final logistical challenge of flicking the lights on and off, we'll do that one more time. Okay, so my hand is definitely cleaner. My fingers don't have nearly as much in the creases. Let's see if I still am missing this spot down below. So whether you're using soap or not, if you don't properly scrub all the areas, we're proving here that that is one of the key factors here in having nice clean hands. So now we've shown that soap does at least help a little bit. So we're gonna flick the lights back on, and we're gonna do a final experiment just using some pepper. Now I need to grab my soap from behind me. Okay, so if you're following along at home, what you'll need is some pepper. You don't actually need that much. This is a ridiculously huge bottle of pepper, but you only need just a little sprinkle. You'll need some dish soap. And then we're also gonna use a tray of water. Whoa, I hope I don't spill it. But before we actually zoom in on the tray below, what we need to learn is a couple big words. We need to learn hydrophilic, which is an attraction to water, and hydrophobic. So hydro, water, phobia is basically a repellent of water. So we have hydrophobic and hydrophilic. So the reason we need to know this is because when you sprinkle your pepper, and we'll go ahead and move the camera down towards our tray of water, where most of the action will be happening. We're gonna start sprinkling our pepper onto the water. You can see it kind of spreading out. We're gonna add a bunch here. We're getting the lighting and everything fixed since I've changed the lighting like 3 or 4 times during this segment. Okay, so you can see that the pepper is not mixing into the water. Now that's happening for a couple reasons. One, hydrophobic. So there is a repelling action going on between the pepper and the water compared to salt, which dissolves pretty rapidly in water. And also there is surface tension. So the water molecules are linking up and kind of providing a platform for the pepper to sit on. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do 2 steps, similar to how we used the glow gel, where we used no soap and then we used soap. In this first step, you're gonna take your finger and you're gonna place it into the pepper, but you're not gonna have any soap on your hands. And let's see what happens. Well, now I just have a wet, peppery finger. But the pepper didn't move anywhere, didn't move away from my hand. It just stuck to my hand. So the second step, you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna take some dish soap and put it on your finger. Doesn't need to be a lot, that's actually quite a bit. You just do a little drop, and then you're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put it right into the pepper. And just like that, the pepper seemingly is scared of my soapy finger. Now, why did that happen? So hopefully you get the same exact result. And what's happening here is all due to, wow, those bubbles were just perfect that came out of this, all due to the soap. So we've learned these new words, hydrophobic and hydrophilic. Well, soap is actually both of those. So what's really cool is that germs kind of cling to the oils and grease that are on your hands. And soap is both hydrophobic and hydrophilic. So it's attracting the grease and it's also attracting the water. So it's, as you're washing your hands, it's being attracted to the water and it's being pulled, you can think of it as pulling it off of your hands. So it's doing a better job of just cleaning the surface of your hands than if you didn't have soap. And this pepper is a perfect example, this pepper experiment is a perfect example of that. So I hope you guys were able to test this out at home since it is just pepper and water. Just make sure you do it in a nice big tray so you don't make a big mess. And if you guys are interested in learning more about the different germ experiments that we talked about a couple weeks ago, feel free to check it out on our YouTube channel. It's also on our Facebook as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be doing our next Geek Out next Tuesday, and I hope to see you all there. I want to also give a big shout out to Flint Hills Resources for continuing to put these on. Really couldn't be doing this without them. And I'm running out of breath, so I think I will let you guys go. I hope you guys have a great day. Again, my name is John, coming to you from Children's Museum Houston. See ya.